Hello and welcome to another episode of Bike Vids. My name is Greg. Thank you for watching. Just 1 second here. Delicious. I'm just having a little sip of one of my favorite adult beverages. In fact, I'm having several sips because I'm having several takes and I'm just not getting this right. However, this is a special episode of Bike Vids. It focuses on where to go and get a drink when you arrive into a town, maybe near a campsite, and you just want, a little something to wet your whistle, maybe a little nip of the hard stuff before you hit your campground. How do you find the perfect place? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to give you a few examples of some of my favorite places based on my trip down the Oregon and California coast, and we're also going to do a live demonstration of how to find that perfect place to grab an adult beverage on this episode of Bike Vids. Of course, at Bike Vids, we would never have too many adult beverages before getting back behind the bars of our bike, because that would be dangerous and that would be wrong. But when we do stop in for a drink, we want to make sure we're going to a good spot. Thank you very much, and welcome back to Bike Vids. Folks, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to highlight a few top places from my Oregon, California bike trips, and we'll go from north to south, and I really think you're going to find these are the spots to go to. At some point, we're probably going to have to talk about the term dive bar. I personally don't find the word dive bar offensive. I don't think a lot of dive bar owners find the word offensive. You could call sometimes maybe the more safer term would be neighborhood bar. I don't know. Anyway, our first up today is Brady, and this is in North Bend, outer Coos Bay area. Oregonians, because this is probably one of the top spots to go. This is the type of place you can see from the picture that, you're biking by this place, and you're like, hit the brakes. This is the place to go. Prominent advertising of the Oregon Lottery. Dark, kind of looking, nondescript. We know what's going on in there, right? We know what's happening in there. Some drinking and I guess maybe some lottery playing. So in this particular day, it was the end of a short Oregon trip that I was taking. I was meeting up with my wife, and we were going to do some camping, some car camping on the way back to Santa Cruz, and this was my last day of that trip. Pulled into Coos Bay, outer Coos Bay, and found this place. It was great, and I definitely had a good time. I learned, the owner is not actually Brady or Brandy or, whatever. Either way, you learn all sorts of things, and this place definitely comes highly recommended. One last thing about Bradys, just since this is kind of our first stop, here's kind of a view of kind of some establishments. This will also kind of be a little kind of a preview of what we're going to try later when we try to find a perfect place to stop for a drink. Just look at what's going on here. We have a donut shop right next door, sandwich shop across the street. These are all the things that a perfect neighborhood bar, the type of bar you want to stop at, has. If you look further down the road, there's also this place, the Silver Dollar Tavern. I wish I had more clear memories of riding past that place, but clearly with a name like that, that's something also that one would want to check out. So in terms of the overhead view of O'Brady's, this thing, there's a gun shop nearby. You look at the side of the screen here, there's a barber shop next to the kind of sandwich place. So yeah, this is really everything you could possibly desire. Okay, let's keep going. Next stop is a place called The Bank. in Smith River, California. You can kind of see here in the map. Smith River is a small town off of the 101 north of Crescent City, which was my destination for the evening. So one, just stoked to be kind of getting off the 101 a little bit and going through some of these smaller roads. Two, you know, things are going to happen. You get off, there's a place called Truly Scrumptious Cake. These are all kind of signifiers of good things to come when you get to the bank. When you look here and you see the kind of outside of the bank, it's one of those kind of clever bar names. And again, this could be like, these are hints of good establishments to go to, maybe some kind of little clever thing. In this case, this used to be an actual bank, but of course, you know, it's like, hey, I'm going to the bank, you know, but I'm going to the bank. So I walked in this place. Beautiful, just wood floors when you walk in. When I came, it was empty, besides maybe 2 customers, bartender, and definitely 1 dog. And, you know, had a drink, did some chit-chatting, and just kind of, you know, you're in a place that is clearly unique, has all of the stuff, maybe some kind of wacky old folding kind of freight edge photos of some kind of, you know, softball event they had in 1989. Very just simple decor, pool table, possibly shuffleboard here at the bank, but don't quote me on that. And just happy to have to found the place. I think there might also be a burger place kind of across the way. And so the bank is a must-stop place on your tour down the Oregon-California coast. Okay, our final joint is in Point Reyes Station. On my last trip down the California coast, I rolled into Point Reyes Station. I camped in Olema, just outside of town, and then the following day I rode out and up to Sausalito to catch the ferry into San Francisco. Of the places, this place is definitely one of the best. Classic establishment you can see, nearest to my home, so I had been there previously, so it wasn't a brand new discovery, which would just, you know, kind of make it even more mind-blowing. But again, you know, don't want to necessarily say dive bar or you know, but like, these are the places. So just legitimate, no blender, just go in, have a drink, super friendly folks that, sure, yeah, I mean, you know, you're a stranger. You can't walk in there like you own the place. They know that you, not that you don't belong there, but that you don't live there, right? So all of your actions count when you're in places like this, to kind of get to that point where people drop those guises and have some actual conversations. So the Western is an amazing place, highly recommended. 5 stars, 5 out of 5 stars. You should check it out when you are in Point Reyes Station. All right, so now we get to kind of like run through an example of how do you find, you know, you're not a local from these towns you're passing through. How do you find these perfect spots to go visit when you're traveling on your bike tour? So we're going to kind of just use the example of Mendocino, California, a town. If you're doing kind of the traditional route down the California coast, you would definitely pass through Mendocino. And so when I went through Mendocino, I was staying at Van Dam State Park, which is a little bit outside of Mendocino, kind of not unlike if you've been kind of doing the whole kind of deal, like when maybe you stayed at Humbug Mountain and you kind of have a last kind of chance to get groceries and things like that. And so the first thing I want to do when I come into town before heading to the campsite is I probably want to look for some kind of market, right, to stock up on supplies and things like that. And so for sure here, in this case, I'm kind of looking for things like something co-op or blah, 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 you know, to remind me of kind of what maybe the type of grocery store I'm kind of used to in Santa Cruz. And so for sure in Mendocino, we have that, right? We have this harvest market, and it is in fact an awesome market. But, you know, it's kind of the end of the day, and we might want a little nip. And so we're gonna try to look for a place too. And just kind of by looking at some of these places, Patterson's Pub. Again, hey, I'm not judging. I'm just saying this is like when you're traveling, you kind of have to make some gut instinct kind of decisions. Patterson's Pub sounds fairly generic to me. So what else do we kind of have going on? Fiddlehead's Cafe, definitely someplace I would probably want to go for breakfast someday. But then I'm kind of looking here. Okay, Flow Restaurant and Lounge. Flow, it seems a little too modern to me. Again, not judging, but I'm like, you know, I'm not going to be going to Flow's place. But as I kind of take a look around, next to Flow Restaurant here is Dick's Place. And so this is the simple kind of name that I am like, you know, there's probably something good going on here. So let's click on Dick's Place, and oh yeah, okay, so I'm done, right? I'm already going there, right? I'm riding down the street. This looks pretty much just like every place that we talked about today. And sure enough, it is. It's a great old place, no pretense, and a good place to pop in and get a drink. So that's kind of how I would probably find a place before kind of again heading back out of town to the campsite, which is just right over down here. Okay, guys, that's it for Bike Vids episode 3. As my wife says, best to keep these videos under 10 minutes. We're a little over that. Hope you enjoyed. Hopefully this was helpful. Please feel free to like, not like, make a comment, positive, negative, subscribe, whatever. Thank you for watching Bike Vids.